Okay, Steve, take it away.
Thanks very much, Bill. Just like to welcome everyone to the September, yeah, I wish it was, the December meeting of the Norwalk Shellfish Commission. And has attendance been taken?
It has.
And the chair notes that a quorum is present. And just in terms of reviewing the approval of the minutes for the November meeting, if we could, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioner, and a second.
Second.
Thank you, and all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. So that puts November into the books. Public comment. I'm only on my phone, folks, so it's a little hard for me to see a raised hand. Does anyone see anyone in the public with a
There
raised
is
hand?
there is one person at this time.
All right, please recognize Bill.
It's Miss Linnell Jones,
Thank you.
but she's not raising her hand. She's just listening.
Okay, no problems. Welcome, Leno. Let's just move ahead to treasurer's report, Bill.
Okay, sure. There was no expenditure, so the balance remains the same. It's $28,650.
Thank you, sir. Secretary's report, no report. Moving on to the committee reports. Back to you, Bill, for Department of Health.
Sure. So the rainfall for the month of November was 1.55 inches. Last year was 4.14. Historically, it's 3.49. We had two closures on 11/26 and 11/30 just due to excessive rainfall, but only in Cook's Ground area, which is the exceedance level is just 0.5 inches. So other than that, it was actually pretty quiet, and there were no bypasses whatsoever.
Good month. Thanks, Bill.
Sure.
No wastewater treatment plant. Obviously, no mayor's water quality committee. So in terms of Her Honor elect's new staff, I'll put in an email sometime after her inauguration just to ask about reinvigorating it, and let's see where it goes from there. Permits. Bill and I were just speaking offline, so we're in an effort to get the 2026 ones out around the end of the holidays, such that they could be ready by early January, and looking good so far. They will have a slightly different design this year, and we've also planned to capture emails this year, such that we can do some mass emailings with pertinent shellfish information. Next category is the police.
All right, guys. So nothing really to report on our end other than these things we spoke about last month with the shellfishing violation. We made an arrest in that, and the arrestee was Michael Orvez. He was charged with larceny second and violation of shellfishing regulations. He posted bond and has a court date coming up after the first of the year sometime.
Thank you, Sergeant. Any water temperature?
Yeah, 44-ish, give or take a day.
I'll stay out of the water.
That's it.
Thank you. Harbor Management, Chairman Kibbe, please, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Bartish. There's really nothing beyond the routine application review to report at this time. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and thanks as always for coming. Mr. Stedman?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. There's a number of things I think that would be of interest to the Shellfish Commission if you just give me a few minutes. And, it points out that, we learn from the harbor and shellfish management experience of other towns. Hello?
Yeah, the chair notes that Commissioner Johnson has joined. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying that we learn from the experiences of the other towns just as the other towns can learn from our experiences, which we share. And one thing that's of interest is what's taking place in Stamford now. I think I mentioned to you that the Harbor Management Commission in Stamford is also the Shellfish Commission, was given the responsibilities of the Shellfish Commission by a decree of the mayor. And to do that, it's interesting. They have a committee of volunteers. They're not commission members, but they're essentially the Shellfish Committee of the Harbor Management Commission. And those are interested parties, and they've assembled that committee because the Harbor Commission has the authority to retain consultants and assistants, and that's what they've done. All volunteers. And one of the things that the recreational beds in Stamford have been closed because of the absence of good water quality testing data. And the health department in Stamford is not doing those tests anymore, but the Harbor Commission is retaining the Sound Waters group to do the testing. And they still have to do some more tests during wet weather conditions in order to open the recreational beds. And another thing that they're doing is they lease a shellfish ground in Stamford for commercial purposes. And that lease expired after 5 years, and now they have to reissue that or reissue a RFP for commercial firms to bid on that. And one of the goals that they have is to create opportunities for new people to be involved in the shellfish business. And that's what the Bureau of Aquaculture is interestingly is doing elsewhere in Connecticut, and has been successful in doing that in Branford, where I guess they've created there's 5 new shellfishing entities that are operating in Branford now on beds that the state purchased and is leased to them. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and also as part of the goal of creating opportunities for new people, when the city in Stamford is now updating or restoring the Cummings Park Marina that was destroyed in Storm Sandy, but they're thinking of the possibility of including upwellers in the docks of the city marina, and also to provide vessel space for commercial shellfishing businesses. And we had a very interesting discussion for 2 hours yesterday in Milford at the Bureau of Aquaculture to talk about a number of matters, including the significance of natural shellfish beds. And I put together, as part of the Norwalk River watershed presentation for you guys, a poster with the reproduction of the 1889 bed of the map of the natural beds in Norwalk Harbor. And Bill said he would email that to everyone after the meeting. But it's interesting because those beds in Norwalk, they were, designated by the state Shellfish Commission, and then they were certified by the Superior Court. The Stamford natural beds, identified by the State Commission, were never certified by the Superior Court, which is an oddity of all the towns. So that the beds in Norwalk, the natural beds, which encompass all of the inner harbor, have additional weight than the ones do in Stamford. But I think there's a lot to learn from what's going on in Stamford now. Another topic is the Connecticut Port Authority, which of course provides grants that can be used for harbor improvements, and provided the grant for the East Norwalk the Veterans Park Marina. The Port Authority's annual meeting is next Tuesday in New Haven, which I think is going to be of interest. With respect to the ship grants that the Port Authority, there will be discussion about the new procedures for applying for the ship grants next year. The Bond Commission meets on December 12th, and what the proposal is to the Bond Commission is to allocate all of the money that will be available for municipalities to apply for as one big sum that the Port Authority would then have discretion to disperse based on the grant applications that they accept, rather than having to go back, as in the past, to the Bond Commission for approval of each project. And one thing that they're planning on doing, in recent years, several towns, including Norwalk, with the $3.5 million this year, have received a substantial amount of funds, and Stamford too, but other towns have not received, some towns haven't received anything. So one of the goals is to try to spread the money out more equally, and the grants will not be as big, we should anticipate, some of the grants in the future. So that's an interesting consideration, and we'll follow that more. Again, the Bond Commission meets on the 12th. The other thing that's coming up is the public hearing on the Seaview Avenue project. That's December 11th. And then the written comments are the 23rd. Shellfish resources haven't been an issue with that, but there's really some significant issues having to do with harbor management consistency. And also I think it can be said is I don't want to say unfair, but the unfortunate situation where the East Norwalk Boat Club clearly has an interest in this, but their petition for an evidentiary hearing was denied by DEEP because of that new Law 2584, where evidentiary hearing is not automatically held because of with a petition with 25 signatures. And I think that's unfortunate. But in that public hearing, we have to certainly bring forth that the harbor management program in Connecticut started in the East Norwalk Basin. The issues that we had to face then back in the 1980s and with the adoption of the plan had to do with encroachments into the navigation project, the need to the realignment of the navigation project, and the need to have proper setbacks. And that has to be, I'm sure, has to be brought up in the, well, not sure, I know it has to be brought up in the public hearing process. And related to that, there's an issue going on in Greenwich, which is a test case having to do with these evidentiary hearings and the new requirements. And in Greenwich, the Harbor Commission and the Shellfish Commission are working together and have submitted a petition for an evidentiary hearing signed by members of both commissions with, our opinion, the indisputable logic that the signers of that petition have rights and duties that are affected by DEEP's decision in the matter, which is a permit to place a dock on a natural shellfish bed. So there's more to come on that, but that the outcome of that and the hearing officer's decision on whether to accept the petition certainly is going to set precedent for things in other towns, including what we deal with in Norwalk. The Norwalk River Watershed Initiative, their next public meeting to discuss the update of the watershed basin plan is December 17th at 6 p.m. and that's at the Comstock Center in Wilton. The meeting in the first meeting at the South Norwalk Library wasn't that well attended, but we put together a number of displays of photos and maps of the watershed that were on display at the Norwalk meeting at the request of the Watershed Initiative and with the thanks of the Watershed Initiative, and we'll do the same thing for the meeting in Wilton. Again, because this is a matter of basic interest to both the Shellfish Commission and the Harbor Management Commission, which were instrumental in establishing the Watershed Initiative and have been participants. And the reason being for the establishment of the Watershed Initiative, one of the first, if not the first in Connecticut, was concern about the impact of bacterial pollution in the watershed on the shellfish resources in Norwalk Harbor. So that's the role of the Commission and the Shellfish Harbor and Shellfish Commission is indisputable with respect to that. Also at that meeting, it will be brought up about the Route 7, the DOT's Route 715 project, and what's the status of that, and when's the next opportunity for impact, and that will be brought up at this public meeting. And also we will submit the water quality policies from the Harbor Management Plan with anticipation and expectation that they'll be endorsed by the update of the watershed-based plan. And then the last thing I'll mention that's of interest to all of us is the status of the Manresa Island deep stewardship permit, which is, as the deep remediation has said, is a relatively simple matter. The hard work and the detailed work is to follow with the development of the detailed remedial action plans. But this stewardship permit has to be approved first. The comment period expired October 30th. It's been over a month. We're waiting to hear from DEEP about the status of that. The Bureau of Aquaculture director yesterday told us that he had a good discussion with one of the consultants for the Manresa Island project. And his mind is a little more at ease with respect to that project now and the expectation that it will address any contaminants in the marine sediments. And again, that entire peninsula is surrounded by a court-confirmed natural shellfish bed. And so that's hence well, anyway, we all know that that's a significant project that we'll all be involved in review. But that's it. I'm sorry to take all your time. There's just so much of interest that's going on. And then, the last thing is the status of work to update or to amend the Connecticut Harbor Management Act, which is necessary. The next session starts in February. We're still trying to schedule a meeting with DEEP and several of the legislators that DEEP wants to bring into the process again, to amend the law to uphold municipal harbor management authority. And then we also talked about, at some point we might want to go back and look at the authorizing statutes for shellfish commissions and make clear in response to what may come up out of these other cases to uphold the authority of municipal shellfish commissions to make recommendations on the shellfisheries that they have charge of. But thanks, Steve. I'll stop.
Well, thanks a lot, Jeff. Appreciate the thorough report as always. A motion to accept the committee reports as presented, please.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Commissioner. And a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. And moving on to old business, just one agenda item tonight. And it's the 108 Water Street. And I see Matt's here to answer any questions, but we've seen it. Many of us have heard additional commentary with respect to the presentations to the Harbor Management Commission. So any questions for Matt? Or Matt, did you want to say anything before we move on this?
I don't have any questions for you guys. Happy to answer any questions you might have from me.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Anything for Matt?
No questions here.
Thank you.
All good here.
Yep. So I'd like to entertain a motion on the floor in terms of the disposition of this application for the waterside bulkhead remediation.
I'll make a motion, Pete Johnson.
Okay, and Pete, you're saying it's no details, you're saying standard language?
Hmm.
I use this marker.
Uh,
I use this.
No, there should be something in there. They should have some way to protect the when they take out the other wall and stuff to protect that area.
Matt, did you want to address that for Commissioner Johnson?
Sure. In our deep application, we have a turbidity curtain being installed to confine the work area before we start demolition or removal of any existing structures. If you want to add additional protections, then that'd be up to you guys.
Is that waterway, the curtain?
Yep, it'll be installed in the curtain. It's a weighted curtain with a float on top, so the weight holds the bottom of it on the bottom, obviously, and the float draws it up. So the entire water column is confined during construction.
Okay. We're gonna put that in the permit to make sure.
Yeah, so we can specifically mention that, Pete, in addition to our standard language.
Okay.
So there's a motion on the floor with respect to standard language plus a specific mention of weighted turbidity curtains. A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. Any ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? So that carries, Matt. We'll get the paperwork out to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And there is no new business other than I wanted to mention that the annual gathering of Shellfish Commissions for the state of Connecticut is Saturday, January 24th. It's sort of like a half to 3/4 day event. Informative, but sometimes somewhat repetitive. So if you haven't gone, most of it might be new to you. Food is really good, and the people are really nice. So if you'd like to go, if you could send me an email and maybe copy Bill as well, as he'll be putting together the ticket purchase for us. Anything else?
Steve, it's Jeff. Might I interrupt once more?
Please.
Yes, for the annual meeting, I think we can anticipate that there will be a discussion of the effect of that Public Act 2584, and with respect to public hearings, and also with respect to the authority of the shellfish commissions to make recommendations concerning the protection of shellfisheries and shellfish grounds. And I know the Bureau of Aquaculture we've been discussing what the impacts of that law mean, and also the arguments against having, Shellfish Commissions be able to petition for members, be able to petition for public hearings. So I think that'll be a topic of discussion that we'll bring up at that annual meeting.
Excellent. And if it's not a specific agenda item, Jeff, I'll make it part of our commission's presentation.
Yeah, but I think it will be. So, but we have a little bit of time to prepare.
Great. Well, thanks, everyone. That reaches the end of the agenda. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Yeah.
Pete.
I have a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Steve, if I could just inject one thing, just remember that the next meeting will be on January 8th, which is actually the second Thursday of the month, just due to the first being obviously New Year's Day.
Thanks. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah if I don't speak with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy holidays,
Happy-
everybody.
Bye all. Happy holidays.
Happy. Good night.
Night.
Night. Steve, I'll give you a call later.